Hi and welcome to the 2016 graduation exams comprehension exercises. Topic number 1 for 40 points. Read the text below. Are the sentences 1 to 5 right A or wrong B? If there is not enough information to answer right A or wrong B, choose doesn't say C. Mark A, B or C on your exam sheet. The Eton War Game. Eton College is one of Britain's oldest and most prestigious public schools. The school has some very old traditions. One example is the War Game, a sport the school plays to celebrate St. Andrew's Day on 30th November. Eton is located about 30 kilometers west of London. The school is in the village of Eton on the River Thames, opposite Windsor. The War Game is only played at Eton. It is one of the oldest versions of football. Two teams play the game on a field beside a wall erected in 1717. The field is 100 meters long and 5 meters wide. The players score points by pushing their team and the ball to one end of the field. Players cannot touch the ball with their hands. The players push and push and push. The ball is invisible under their bodies. It isn't very spectacular sport. In fact, games regularly finish 0-0. But it is character forming. The Duke of Wellington, a famous old Etonian, apparently said that the Battle of Waterloo was won on the playing fields of Eton. The War Game teams are called the Collegers and the Oppidans. Why? We need a short history lesson. King Henry VI founded the school as a charity in 1440. The first students were 70 poor children. They were the king's scholars. They were also called collegers because they lived in Eton College. Eton still awards 70 scholarships. However, Eton College is now one of 27 Eton houses. The Oppidans are students from the other 24 houses. They pay school fees. Today Eton is an expensive private school with more than 1,000 students. Eton remains a powerful force in British culture. It has provided many prime ministers, including David Cameron. Both Prince William and Prince Harry attended the school. In fact, Prince Harry played the War Game in 2001. Other famous old Etonians included George Orwell, the fictional James Bond and his character Jan Fleming, and Hugh Laurie, Dr. House. Adapted from Speak Up. Questions. Number 1. Eton College was founded on November 30th, St. Andrew's Day. A. Right, B. Wrong, C. Doesn't say. 2. Students in many schools in England play the War Game regularly. A. Right, B. Wrong, C. Doesn't say. 3. The War Game is not extremely captivating, but it builds moral strength. A. Right, B. Wrong, C. Doesn't say. 4. Most students at Eton have to pay large fees to study here. A. Right, B. Wrong, C. Doesn't say. 5. James Bond attended Eton at the same time as Jan Fleming. A. Right, B. Wrong, C. Doesn't say. Topic number 2. Read the text below. For questions 1 to 10, choose the answers A, B, C or D, which you think fits best according to the text. The word mural means related to a wall and calls up the vision of a single oversized painting. This is misleading in the case of America Today by Thomas Hart Benton, which is a whole painted room, 4 walls, 10 panels, floor to ceiling. Like all great art, the mural does not reproduce well. Illustrated, it is dim and simplified, its colors untrue, much detail lost. All masterpieces must be seen at first hand. This was the reason for the Grand Tour. It is the reason that people still visit the Great Museum of the World, and they discover, as I did with America Today, that being in that room enclosed by those glorious walls is the way Benton conceived his project. Not as a set of pictures, but as an in-lived space. I move counterclockwise around the room, beginning with Deep South, which is largely devoted to cotton, but with contrasting figures. The standing black cotton picker looming over the seated white man on his harrow, the steamboat Tennessee Belle in the center loading cotton, and the obscure detail, a chain gang being watched by a mean-faced guard cradling a rifle. As in all of the panels, the workers are heroic and powerful. Next to it, Midwest shows an altered Eden, lumberjacks clear-cutting a forest for timber and for land to grow corn, the grain elevator in the background mirroring the skyscraper depicted across the room in city building. An illustration might not catch the swollen menace of the rattlesnake in the lower left, nor would it show well the boxy Model T Ford that Benton used in his travels. Changing west, the next panel is an unromantic study of the oil boom in Texas, dominated by thick smoke and a derrick, yet portions of it show the vanishing profession of herdsmen and cowboys, the confrontation lower center of a Native American facing a painted floozy. No humans appear in the central and largest panel. Instruments of power, which is more proof that Benton did not abandon abstraction and that his deftness is rendering movement by controlling color must have impressed his student Jackson Pollock, whose early paintings show Benton's influence. I don't think any illustration would do justice to the blur of the whirring propeller, nor it is possible in living thought, a book of pictures to see how the red of the plane is repeated in a man's red shirt on one panel, a red blouse in another, the red dress of a dancer, or the crimson of the leotard in the trapeze artist's flinging herself across the top of the opposite panel. The whole mural, among many other things, is a study in attention-seeking roseate colors. The red shirt of the work-weary miner in coal seizes the eye, as do the smokestacks, the fires and the power plant. But you need to stand on tiptoe to see on the upper right the rough shacks of the mining town, a reminder of the humble town where the muscular miner lives. The furnace flames and fire-lit bodies in steel seem to heat the whole painting and illuminate the strong bodies and gripping hands, but the tiniest grace notes are those of sparks flying. City building directly across from Deep South shows a similar dynamic pattern of workers, black man and white man, working together. In both panels, the black workers loom larger. An almost imperceptible detail is the sight of two dark-suited figures, gangsters, one handing over money at the center of the picture. Sitting at the center of the room before the New York panels, city activities with dance hall and city activities with subway, I watch people entering America today. None of them stride to the facing wall to see instruments of power, planes, trains and power plants. All the viewers turn to the city panels where spirit and flesh weed for dominance. They lean to the right to see the burlesque show, 50 Girls and the Preacher's God is Love, or left to see the frenzy of the dance hall, the drinkers, the circus performers. These city panels are the most satisfying of all and the most crowded, the most vital and paradoxical, adopted from the Smithsonian's. Number one, what is different about America today when compared to a regular mural? A. It is about an entire continent. B. It occupies more space than one single wall. C. It can be easily reproduced in an image, in a magazine. D. It doesn't succeed in rendering every little detail accurately. 2. When painting America today, Benton tried to A. Put together pictures of America from when he was a child. B. Create a work of art which was completely original. C. Address the public of every museum in the world. D. Create an entirely alternative vivid space. 3. Deep South has its main theme. A. Agriculture. B. Gangsters. C. Steamboats. D. City workers. 4. While looking at Deep South, you are most likely to miss the steamboat. B. The guardsman. C. The white worker. D. The black cotton picker. 5. An element of Midwest is reflected in another element from Deep South. B. Every other panel. C. Changing west. D. City building. 6. The element missing from instrument of power is A. Industrial images. B. Human figures. C. Vehicles in motion. D. Electrical measurements devices. 7. The author of the article believes that an element of cohesion for the entire mural is A. the colored red. B, the fact that human figures appear larger than life. C, the illusion of movement given by certain figures. D, the influence it had on one of Bentham's disciples. 8. Coal and steel mostly depict in industrialization through A. Fire and heat, B. Smoke and clouds, C. Poor housing conditions, D. Human bodies set on fire. 9. In both city building and Deep South, the human figures that stand taller are those of A. White workers, B. Native Americans, C. The black workers, D. The gangsters. 10. In the author's opinion, the two New York panels, A, are the best, full of characters and vitality. B, are not to be seen in haste. C, are admired only by parts of the visitors. D, are too religious in theme. Thank you.